This is video 1 from Unit 1, Lesson 3. Here we are going to look at angle relationships to solve multi-step problems. So first of all, we need to talk about the different types of angle relationships. We could have vertical angles. So if I call this angle A and this angle B, the angle relationship with vertical angles is that angle A is congruent to angle B. So I'm just going to write that as A equals B. So I will set those angles equal to each other. The vertical angles could be horizontal or vertical. So for example, it's also true that angle C is congruent to angle D. Next, we have what's called a linear pair. A and B are a linear pair because those two angles form a straight line. The measure of lines are 180 degrees. So this tells me that angle A plus angle B equals 180 degrees. Angles in a triangle. So there are 3 angles in a triangle, and the interior measure of a triangle is 180 degrees. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180. Quadrilateral has 4. Those angles add to 360. If you have parallel lines, so those arrows mean that those two lines are parallel, you have angles that are called corresponding angles. You have one inside and one outside. Angle A is corresponding to angle B. Corresponding angles are congruent. So angle A is congruent to angle B, which means you set them equal. Another example of corresponding angles could be C and D here, or you could have E and F. All of those are examples of corresponding angles. So C equals D, and E equals F. The last angle relationship we're going to look at are alternate interior angles. So again, the lines are parallel. Alternate interior angles, so interior means they are inside the two parallel lines, and alternate means on either side of the line that goes through it. So A and B are alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are also congruent. So A equals B, and C equals D. This is something you'll want to write down in your notes, so then when you're working on the homework, you can look and see what type of angle relationship you have and whether they should be equal or whether you should set them to 180. Let's do a few examples. So in this first example, this is an example of vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are congruent, they are equal. So I will set 32 equal to 2x plus 4. Now, the only reason why 2x plus 4 is in parentheses is because of the degree sign. So when you're solving, you don't need to put the parentheses there. Okay, so let's solve for x. Subtract 4 from both sides, and then divide by 2. I get 14. Let's look at the next one. So this relationship is a linear pair because those two angles form at that straight line. Again, the parentheses is only there because of the degree sign. So when I'm solving, I don't need to write it. What I need to do here is add them and set them equal to 180. So I have like terms with 7 and 56. So if I add 7 plus 56, then I get 63. Now I can solve. So subtract 63 from both sides. So 180 minus 63 would be 117. Divide by 3. And we get 39. Okay? In this example, these are angles in a triangle. If I go back to my notes page, it tells me angles in a triangle, I add and set them equal to 180. So I'm going to add 60 plus 3x plus 4x minus 10 equals 180. Okay, I have like terms, I have 60 and negative 10. So if I combine those, I get 50. And then I also have 3x and 4x. If I combine those, I get 7x. Now I can solve, so I do the opposite operation. 50 is positive, so I need to subtract. That is 130. And then I need to divide by 7. We get a long decimal here, so I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. And I get 18.57. And in this last example, I might have to go back to my notes to look to see what these are. So I see I have parallel lines. So I'm looking here at these bottom two. It's either going to be corresponding angles or alternate interior angles. In both of those cases, you set them equal to each other. And they're both on the inside, so they're alternate interior angles. I will set them equal to each other. I don't have any like terms to combine, so I need to solve. I will subtract 8 from both sides. That is 110 equals 1/2 x. And then I need to divide by 1/2. Sometimes with your calculator, you might have to put parentheses around this 1/2 when you divide. Or if it's easier, you can type in 1/2 as 0.5. Okay, so 110 divided by 1/2 is 220. And that is our answer. Okay, you are now ready to do Unit 1, Assignment 4.